Welcome back to Without a Doubt, the podcast. I'm your host, Mad, a cycle breaker, entrepreneur, and a sprinkle of reality. This podcast is a place where we celebrate living life authentically and organically as ourselves. We're the ones breaking cycles, making waves, and living out the truest versions of who we are meant to be. Every week, I bring you a brand new episode relating to self-discovery, human experience, and about authentic self. If you love this episode, I hope you give it a follow. If you love any of the episodes, I hope you give it a thumbs up, 5-star review, and your listens, shares, and all of the above are just super appreciated. Thanks for being here. We're almost coming up on a year, and I cannot believe that. I started therapy. It was something on my 2024 bucket list. This is something that I actually wanted to do since the end of 2023, and I'm really proud of myself for getting started. If you have been here a while, you've listened to a few episodes, and maybe you've tuned into some of my history, some of the traumas I've been through, including dealing with my dad who was absent, taking me to a crack house, and just living and growing up in a single parent household with just a single mom. I've always been that girl that no one worried about. I was always the one that everyone said, "You're always good," or "I never have to worry about you." And I've been that little badass babe my entire life. What most people don't realize is that actually carries a lot of weight. Sometimes you want to be thought of. Sometimes you want to be worried about. Sometimes you want people to check in on you. I think I hit a breaking point earlier this year when I realized I was just doing everything for everybody. And everyone was just constantly telling me like, "Oh, Madison, you're always doing something. You're always doing everything." And it actually is really hard to hear. I am also the person that nobody checks in on. Everybody's always asking me for help. And here I am thinking that I don't really need help myself. I'm also the person that is never given grace. Rather, I'm just expected to show up because I have built that kind of integrity. But the truth is, I needed help. I needed a backboard. I needed something to start processing my thoughts, feelings, emotions. And I needed somebody to validate the things I was going through. Or maybe to put me back in a place, or someone just that was not in my own freaking bubble. Going to therapy is something that has given me freedom to speak my emotions without any bias. So much more than I could even imagine. Within the first month of my sessions, my therapist asked me if I was depressed. And I was like, no. Actually, there's no way that I'm depressed. But the more we started talking about it, and the more we started bringing up my emotions and how I felt on a day-to-day basis and how I was just crying out of nowhere for no reason, I realized I was feeling repressed, and maybe I was depressed. And this happy girl that nobody ever has to worry about was actually feeling like I was in a dark hole. But I've been in a dark hole for probably the last 6 or 7 months, maybe since October 2023. And I think that's when I actually started diving more into politics and humanity, and that took a lot of my mental health. Not only was I consumed, but I was losing my faith in humanity. I was questioning my relationships with my family, with my friends. My capacity was tapped. And it's been feeling that way with a lot of the politics in our country. I just had to get off social media. October was a big thing for me. I took a big step from sharing on my stories every day, all the time with everybody, my friends, and I just stopped sharing my personal stories, and I have basically remained that way ever since. I have become more private with what is actually going on with me, and that is on purpose. That girl that felt like nobody was checking in on her felt like I didn't need to share what was going on because if you wanted to know, you could call. I was starting to feel like, man, nobody checks in on me. Since starting therapy, I realized I need the support. I need people to check in on me. I need a support system, and I really need people who want to care about me. And I'm really good at pushing away a lot of that out because for so long, I've done basically everything myself. Going to therapy opened up a ton of realizations. I've been able to vocalize certain things about certain situations. Things going on in not only my day-to-day, but in the past, my family traumas or things that have happened to me, or we're just cracking open the egg. We're just peeling back the layers. But going to therapy is actually opening up ideas about myself that maybe I even questioned. And now I feel more validated. It's been almost 2+ months since I started therapy, so I am a baby in the therapy world. I did go to therapy when I was younger with my stepdad and my mom, and family counseling with my real dad. I have done all of the things when I was a teen. But as an adult, therapy is totally different. This podcast is no way sponsored by anything as of yet. So just a little insert that this episode is solely and honestly talking about therapy from my point of view. There's no medical advice here. This episode is solely meant for entertainment purposes, social view, my social view, and personal opinion. And there's definitely going to be some research tossed in here because, hello, facts, we need them, right? So yeah, this was my 2024 bucket list thing to do, and I'm so glad that I started. I don't know why I was holding off or what the resistance was, or maybe I just really thought that I was just like so self-aware. I didn't really need therapy. I'm a very self-aware human, but I also thought that I wasn't going to get so much out of this. What was I waiting for? What was the hesitation? And why did I finally just say fuck it and bite the bullet? Well, first of all, we all need that support system that I was talking about. And honestly, I have one friend who was just the little birdie in my ear that was like, just do it. Just do it. I'm in therapy. So-and-so's in therapy. Therapy is great. I love therapy. And she really was just like, have you started therapy? And she kind of kept me accountable. Accountability is so important in our friendships, relationships, and all of the above, by the way. Thank you, my girl, Lindsay, who was on my last podcast, by the way. We talked about polyamory, so go check that out. But her and I were sitting at coffee, and all the times we're talking about things and unpacking things, and she's like, Madison, you really could benefit from therapy. And it's been in the back of my mind before Lindsay, before our coffee chats, before the things I had wanted to do it. But sometimes we just need someone to just give us a little kick in the ass. So that's what I got, and that's what I needed. And I'm so happy that I started. She also supplied me with some resources, which I thought was really kind. It was really heartfelt. It was really heartfelt, but also is like what I needed because I wasn't really sure where to go, what to start, or any of the above. So if you're curious on how to start therapy, I'm going to drop that in my show notes, or you can send me a DM. I'm very open about this and I would love to share. It has taken me a little bit to share with my family that I started therapy because I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm still unpacking why I didn't want to share that with everybody. But as I'm getting through my therapy journey and I'm learning more about myself, I am realizing that I haven't been holding strong to my boundaries, and I have been people pleasing, and I haven't been doing the things that I've said. So therapy has made me more aware. But number 2, I think this is a big one for a lot of us, is financial. I did not feel that spending my money on therapy to talk to someone was going to be worth it. I didn't realize the investment I was making was ultimately for more peace of mind. If financial is what is holding you back, I encourage you to see what resources are actually out there for you. There are therapy sessions that won't break the bank, or you can do them on a less frequent basis. If you can spend money going out to eat, going to the bar, on coffee, on your mental health, I think it's so important. I do believe that you will do whatever it takes if you need it badly enough. No crackhead wakes up thinking they don't have money for crack, by the way. So they find the money, right? Maybe you don't need therapy as badly as a crackhead, but you get the idea. If a crackhead can keep paying for crack, I'm sure you can figure out a way to pay for something you may need. You might need to sacrifice. And that's what I was getting at when I was saying, if you can go to the bar, if you can go do this, if you've been thinking about therapy, just fucking do it. I also think I didn't necessarily think I needed therapy, by the way, but after a few months of being in the thick of it, I really think we just could all benefit from it. A talking session with a therapist who can give us an unbiased opinion is the kind of therapy that I am talking about, by the way. It's so you can be heard in a safe space, not sharing with your partners or your friend who already has their own ideas of who you are. As great as a friend can be, any professional help should be able to give you the tools that you need in order to build better strategies or mechanisms for coping with whatever life throws your way. Growing up, we're all going to be taught things. We learn generational cycles of doing things. And as we grow into our authentic selves, we start questioning these cycles. At least I did. And I would assume if you're listening to this podcast, you too are a cycle breaker, a wave maker, and you too probably question things. Starting therapy did feel scary for me. Where do I start? What do I talk about? What is wrong with me that I really need to come here to hash out. I really didn't know. I honestly knew that I was in a really dark bubble, the darkest bubble that I've been in for a really long time. And I was just looking for a way to pop it. Therapy was my first step, and I am so happy I took that. I can feel that I'm chipping away at the work, the small little things that are happening. I truly feel better. I feel lighter. I feel a lot of emotions that I have been clinging on to are just floating away like a balloon into the sky. By the way, do not litter. Do not do that. Balloons in the sky are a no-no. I am realizing that I need therapy because of how my family actually deals with things and how I've learned to process things. And I've been unlearning and rewiring my own brain and mind. I'm being reminded that it might be lonely and it might be even harder than I anticipated when I had to build my own bridges. I'm being reminded that it's going to feel lonely and it's going to feel hard when you're building bridges alone. It's going to feel dark when you're trailblazing an unknown new path, a new unknown territory. Sometimes talking it out is how you can actually process how you're going to work your way through this, how you're going to get through that unknown territory. How we can bring our thoughts and ideas to the forefront is really what therapy is all about. I know, there's stigmas and taboos surrounding therapy, and unfortunately that will prevent you, me, anybody from actually seeking the therapy or help they need. One of them for me was financial, like I said, and another one for me was that I just thought I was already so self-aware, but people also think therapy is only for people with really severe mental illness. Hello, therapy will benefit anybody. It'll improve your mental well-being, period. It's going to teach you ways to cope with stress, and it's going to help you work through whatever personal challenges you have so that you can find whatever goals you're trying to get to. People also think therapy is like a sign of weakness. Like, oh, seeking therapy is but actually seeking therapy is a courageous step towards self-improvement, and it should actually be viewed as a proactive approach to mental health care. Therapy has become an investment in myself, and I think just like you have a membership to a spa or a gym, a country club, therapy is an investment in yourself and how you feel about you. It's helping you do the work to be a better human being. They also say therapy is for crazy people or broken people, but it's a tool for personal growth and self-discovery, not just for people in crisis. It can help you, it can help individuals navigate whatever challenges to just improve your overall well-being. Therapy can teach you skills that you can use in your tough situations or day-to-day. I've mentioned that already. And it's not just about when you're feeling dark, alone, or in need. Therapy is a tool you can use to level up your thinking, your thoughts, and your mind. What about when people are like, oh yeah, I'm only going to therapy because I have a problem? You know what? Therapy can really be a stepping stone for personal growth. It can help you build resilience. It can help you build new coping strategies. Like I mentioned before, we're not just here for crisis mode. And also, I think a lot of people think therapy just won't be effective. Like talking to someone, you can talk to a friend, you can talk to your mom, your whoever, your family, but no. There are numerous studies that have shown the effectiveness of therapy in improving mental health outcomes and just overall well-being. If you can address these challenges and stigmas and taboos, you can help create a more supportive and understanding environment and mindset around therapy. It maybe will encourage you if you have been on the back burner, you've maybe been putting this on the back burner to get some therapy help. Just do it, and you can do it without the fear of judgment. I know that seems scary sometimes, but there is science behind therapy. Mental Health America actually has an article about how therapy has been studied in science, and they say, over the last few decades, advances in neuroscience have uncovered that life experiences affect our brains. I mean, hello, we know that. That's what's called neuroplasty. When our senses are activated, we learn something new. And then when we face stressful situations or when we have other kinds of experiences, our brains actually change in structure and function. In part, that means that events, external stressors can lead to mental health struggles, but it also means that some experiences, including therapy, can help modify your brain structure and function into a healthier state. Studies consistently show that behavioral and emotional interventions work just as well or even better than medication to treat various health conditions, including anxiety, depression, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Basically, that's saying that if your brain can change and mold and function and do all these things from trauma, you can rewire, refunction, remold your brain to fix it with new behaviors in therapy. It's scientifically proven. They also say that there are studies that have found people get better at controlling their own emotions because your brain's prefrontal cortex, that's the thing that's responsible for your reasoning and the rational thinking, by the way, which is not fully formed until your 20s. Research on cognitive behavioral therapy, talking therapy, along with psychosis, found that these kind of therapies will strengthen the connections in your brain. Here's the thing. Therapy can actually empower you and it can actually help you achieve your own personal goals for your own mental health and growth in a ton of ways. First of all, self-awareness. Therapy helps you gain a deeper understanding of your own thoughts, your emotions, and your own behavior. The increased self-awareness will allow you to identify areas for whatever improvement you need, and so you can actually set goals to address them, which runs into goal setting. A lot of therapists can actually work with you so that you can establish realistic and achievable goals that are tailored for you, whatever unique needs or circumstances you have. They can break down larger objectives into smaller things, manageable steps, and this is how you can make your own progress towards your own mental health and growth goals, personal goals, whatever goals. Also, therapy can help you with accountability. Regular sessions will provide a supportive and non-judgmental space for you to track your progress towards goals. My therapist, for example, holds me accountable. Since I started, she has been asking me and telling me I need to go on a vacation, like a legit vacation. And she's asked me this a few times. And then last week I was like, I booked a vacation because I kind of went on one, but then I did a fuck ton of things as usual because that's me, always helping and doing. And I loved helping and doing. It was for my friend's 50th anniversary. Yeah, Maggie is one of my friends, but it was my friend's mom. And I helped out for her party. And I spent 2 days pretty much helping, setting up, getting ready, mentally consumed by that. But I had a great time doing it because that's what I like to do. I got to use my creative skills in party mode. But my therapist kept saying, Madison, you need to book a vacation, 1 or 2 nights, just something. So then I booked something this past weekend, but family issues came up and I couldn't find a dog sitter. So I ended up not going out of town. Long story short, whatever. My therapist has been keeping me accountable and I have therapy later today. And I am kind of like not excited for her to ask me because I have to reschedule this vacation. And it's hard because now I need a dog sitter, but that's my own problem. Anyway, my therapist I'm looking for, hopefully she can give me some guidance, encouragement, and feedback so that I can stay motivated to get my vacation planned. That is what therapists do, hold you accountable as well. Also, they'll give you some skill building, right? They can help you with coping strategies. I keep saying that. Communication skills, because they can help you with your words. They can help you with problem solving techniques. And these are essential for just managing and maintaining your own mental health. This is also going to help foster personal growth. And a lot of these skills will empower us to navigate obstacles and setbacks a lot differently than maybe if we didn't have someone guiding us into a better mental state. A lot of times in our goals, we get frustrated, we want to quit. And our therapist can help us with reflection and also adjustment. Therapy can help us reflect on our own experiences, our own traumas, our patterns, identifying these patterns of behavior. And our therapist can help us to make adjustments. These adjustments are necessary. It's like a reflective process, allowing us for continuous growth and learning. It'll help us lead to a more sustainable lifestyle with these little improvements. Overall, I really can't stress it enough, but I do think therapy is a valuable tool for us, how to empower ourselves into more meaningful goals or teaching us to work towards them more gracefully. Ultimately, we can achieve positive outcomes for our own mental health and personal development if we need the help through therapy. I think if you're curious or maybe you need a backboard to talk to about therapy, you're unsure, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, on YouTube, anywhere, whatever. Send me a text message. There's a little button you can send me one. You can even email me at itsyourgirlmatt@gmail.com. You are not alone. If you've been thinking about therapy, I'm here to encourage you. If you had a bad start with therapy and you didn't like your therapist, I'm going to encourage you to try a new therapist. Find one until you like one. But finding your authentic self is hard. Being the authentic version of ourselves is going to be even more challenging in a world of copycats, imposters, and people that are constantly yucking our yum. I've been on that one for a minute. Yucking our yum. Have you heard that? Maybe for the next episode. But we need to find the tools and resources, the higher vibrations and the motivators. And this is how we can continue to be who we want, but also hold us to it. Thanks so much for being here. I always appreciate you, and I want you to know that. You are without a doubt a badass. Don't you forget it. And I will see you next Wednesday for a brand new episode. We are getting close to that 1 year mark. I can't believe that. XOXO, your girl Matt. I love you so much. Bye.